Hello friends, this session we are going to look into the intro to each of the BJT configurations. So BJT stands for bipolar junction transistor. We know that it is called as bipolar because the conduction is due to both the types of charge carriers. Say it is because of electrons, which are negatively charged, and also because of the holes. So that is the reason it is being called as bipolar. And now we know that the BJT is a three-terminal device. It is a three-terminal device. One of the terminals is collector, one is the emitter, and the other one is base. So when the arrow is outside, it is NPN, and when the arrow is inside, it is PNP. The emitter terminal arrow, if it is outside, it is NPN, and if it is inside, it is PNP. Depending on these three terminal connections, we have three configurations. That is PNP, common base, common emitter, and common collector. We will have an intro to each of these configurations in the coming videos. So let us see this figure which is shown here, the terminals and the operations. This is the PNP transistor. So the emitter region E, the collector region P, and the base region N. So PNP has P type, N type, and P type. So emitter emits holes in this type of region, and the collector collects the holes, as the name suggests. Similarly, in the NPN type, there is N type, P type, and N type. The emitter emits electrons, and the collector collects the electrons. So base is very narrow, as shown here. The different current flows are like this. There are basically three currents for a transistor with three-terminal device. One is the IC, the collector current. The other one is the IB, the base current, and IE, the emitter current. So these are three different currents: collector current, base current, and the emitter current. Since the emitter is the source of electrons, it has the largest number of three currents. And also because of the doping concentrations, the doping concentration of emitter is greater than the doping of the collector and is much greater than the doping of the base. Base is very lightly doped. The collector is slightly lower than that of the emitter, and the final expression is that the emitter current is equivalent to the sum of the currents of the base current and the collector current. So this is the basic current equations in a transistor. Now let us understand the characteristics. So when I say IV characteristics, it is nothing but the current and the voltage characteristics of a BJT. Why this characteristics has to be drawn is because we need to understand the operation of a transistor. The operational behavior of a transistor, BJT operation, can be set by plotting the output and input characteristics. So when I say input characteristics, it is IV characteristics, input voltage, and the current characteristics. When I say the output characteristics, again it is the collector emitter voltage, which is the on the x-axis, and we have the collector current as the output. This is the collector current. So here it is the base current and the VBE voltage here. Let us just understand what each of the configurations of a BJT is. So we have three basic configurations: common base, common emitter, and common collector. In this session, I am going to introduce you to the common base. So depending on the terminal which is made common, it is called as common base configuration, because here the base terminal is common between the input and the output. So base is common between the input and output. So here it is shown that input is VEB. See, base terminal is common. That is voltage between emitter and base, and the input current is IE, the emitter current. The output is VCB, and the current output current is collector current. And this is the configuration, the diagram of a transistor, NPN transistor, which is shown here in common base configuration. See, the base is common. There is IB current that is flowing in. The collector is the on this side VCB, which is the output here, and the input side is the VBE, This is the input side. This is the basic intro to the common base configuration.